Hello everybody and happy Friday. It is time for Friday Reads with me, Nina Soden, the red-headed author. And today we are talking about The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. So I gave this book a 3.75 star rating. 4 stars for writing, 4 stars for story, 4 stars for character, 3 stars for appearance, just because I probably wouldn't pick this one up in the bookstore by just the appearance alone. Okay, so the Amazon description of this book goes like this. Combining magic, mysticism, wisdom, and wonder into an inspiring tale of self-discovery, The Alchemist has become a modern classic, selling millions of copies around the world and transforming the lives of countless readers across generations. Paulo Coelho's masterpiece tells the mystical story of Santiago, an Andalusian shepherd boy who yearns to travel in search of a worldly treasure. His quest will lead him to riches far different and far more satisfying than he ever imagined. Santiago's journey teaches us about the essential wisdom of listening to our hearts, of recognizing opportunity and learning to read the omens strewn along life's path, and most importantly, to follow our dreams. Okay, that sounds great, right? Maybe to you, maybe to me, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have picked it up, but it was given to me, so I read it. All right, so let's talk about writing first. I did give this 4 stars for writing. Paulo Coelho is a wonderfully talented author whose storytelling ability just draws you in and keeps you reading, turning the page after page after page after page. You want to know what happens. His writing style is intriguing and yet very simple at the same time. Now, with that said, The Alchemist is a very fast read. It took me maybe 5 or 6 hours to get through the entire book. I didn't do it in one sitting, but I think total it was about 5 or 6 hours that I read it. It keeps you wanting to read more, but I found that it was more because the message behind the book was interesting rather than the story that the book was telling. So let's get into story. On the surface, The Alchemist is a simple story of a sheep farmer who sells his sheep and sets out on this journey to follow his dream, his calling, or his personal legend, as it's called in the book. Yet, in reality, I think that there's a lot more going on than just that simple story. This has a deep message, a lot of deep messages actually woven in throughout the story. Lessons that we're all meant to learn in our lives, and maybe that we are going to learn them each in our own way. We learn them in a different way, but they're all really good lessons for people to learn. So Paulo is a philosopher in my mind. He's more than an author, he is a philosopher. The overarching theme of The Alchemist, I believe, that he is trying to get across is that everyone and all things are connected. The past, the present, and the future are all intertwined. And I think that there are a number of different ways to read this book. One could read this book and take away that you have to live in the moment. Be mindful of the life here in the present moment, because the past and the future, they can't be changed. So just enjoy the present moment while you can. Another reader may take away that the author is telling you to stop working to live and just start living. Follow your dreams and give 100% of yourself to the journey to reaching your personal legend. And if you have ever heard Arnold Schwarzenegger talk about his life, I know this is off topic, kind of, but if you've ever heard him talk about his life and his journey about starting out to become a bodybuilder and then going on to be an actor and then moving across into politics, if you've ever talked to, or not talked to him, unless you know him, who knows, I don't know him personally, but if you've ever heard any of his speeches about his journey, this message of giving 100% to your your personal journey to your personal legend is very similar to what he talks about, that you have to go all in. You have to give 100% of yourself, and you can't rely on a backup plan. You have to be all in, otherwise you're not going to succeed, and you're not going to reach that goal. All right, so I am sure that there are a dozen other ways to read this book and a dozen other messages and lessons that could be learned through reading this book. And I think that they're all true. I think that I can argue that every single one of the interpretations of this book could be true, because you are going to, as a reader, interpret from this book what you as a reader need in your life. So more power to you. I would love to know what message you got from it. Now, if you have read The Alchemist, tell me what message or lesson you learned from The Alchemist by commenting below. Okay, I highly recommend this story for teens and young adults especially. They're still at that age where they're trying to figure out who they are and what they want to do when they grow up, and what they want to be and what they want out of life. And I think that this book is a great source of encouragement to never give up and to always strive to achieve what you are truly passionate about. So I would definitely think that this would be a great gift for a graduate. So if you know a graduate in your life, and I know that this is the time of year everybody is graduating, this would make a great gift for a high school graduate. All right, characters in The Alchemist, I gave this a 4-star as well. I enjoyed all of the characters for what they were. However, the lead character of Santiago, the young sheep farmer, was written really well, like really well. His backstory was laid out so beautifully for us, and I felt that there was a connection between him and the reader, and I was invested in his journey. I wanted to know where he was going to end up, how this journey was going to end. Was it going to go well for him, or wasn't it going to go well? Because every time it seemed like he was about to reach his goal, there was another hurdle that he had to overcome. And I think that's how life typically is. And so watching his journey, which is completely different than my own journey and probably different than yours, watching him get through these struggles was very encouraging and very inspiring. Okay, the character development and connection from chapter to chapter just was so fluid, and it flowed wonderfully. It was nice for once to read a book. Now, this is a fairly small book, and lately I have been reading some pretty heavy books, but it was nice to read a book that the author didn't introduce a new character every chapter, or 1,000 new characters every chapter, where we had tons and tons of people that we had to keep up with. The story was very simple. There was very few characters to keep up with, and that to me was nice. It was a nice, like, refreshing breath of fresh air in terms of the books that I've been reading lately. The appearance, this is the one part where I did give a 3-star. Now, I have looked online and seen multiple covers for this book. This is the one that I have. It's very plain, very simple, and I typically do like simple books, simple book covers. It's aged. I like the coloring. I definitely like the pages, the tan pages and the rough cut edges. It makes it feel older and just a little bit more dear. But the cover I thought was a little bit plain and simple. I probably would not have picked it up if I had passed it in the bookstore. It just wasn't that intriguing to me, but it was given to me to read, so I read it and I jumped right in, and I did enjoy the story. So you cannot always judge a book by the cover. Now, I do have a few favorite quotes from this one. I have 3, in fact. The first one is this: "What you still need to know is this: before a dream is realized, the soul of the world tests everything that was learned along the way. It does this not because it is evil, but so that we can, in addition to realizing our dreams, master the lessons we've learned as we've moved toward the dream. That's the point at which most people give up. It's the point at which, as we say in the language of the desert, one dies of thirst just when the palm trees have appeared on the horizon. So this quote talks to giving up your dreams, giving up too soon, stopping that search too soon. And there are going to be lots of tests, lots of trials, lots of failures, but failure is not separate from success. Failure is part of success. You have to fail in order to succeed. So I think that is the message I got from that quote. Now the second quote is this: every search begins with beginner's luck, and every search ends with the victors being severely tested. So it talks to that same message. You're going to get tested over and over and over again when you are striving for something like a goal, a higher goal. So just don't give up. You're going to have beginner's luck. It's going to feel great. You're going to have a few successes, but then you are going to be tested and you are going to fail. But just keep going and you will succeed. You can do anything if you work at it and if you want it bad enough. All right, my third and final quote is this: don't give in to your fears. If you do, you won't be able to talk to your heart. Don't give in to your fears. If you do, you won't be able to talk to your heart. This book talks a lot about listening, reading the omens, and listening to your heart, following your dreams. If you give up on your goals because you are afraid, your heart gives up that dream, that goal, that purpose to find your personal legend. All right, that is my 2 cents on The Alchemist. I hope you pick up this book and read it. I will post a link to this book so you can get your copy today. It'll be in the description below this video. Get your copy today, pick it up. It is a quick read, 5-6 hours, and I am a slow reader, so definitely pick up your copy and read it. It makes a great gift, so give it to a graduate this year. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about the author, go ahead and click on the link to my blog post below, and you will be able to read his author blog, and you'll be able to check out a number of his other books. He has a ton of them. So read the review in the blog and check out the author as well as his other works. All right, everybody, that is my Friday read selection, The Alchemist. Pick up your copy today. If you have not done so already, please click subscribe to this channel. Click like if you enjoyed this video, and click on that little bell below if you want to be alerted every time I post a video. Until next time, happy reading.